You know, I always kind of felt like Super Love Songs just wasn't a good follow-up to Legend of Mermaid. I still like it, but it's not as beautiful or epic as Legend of Mermaid, and so I was kind of worried that the bar had been set too high. But then when I heard Kizuna, I was totally relieved because it is amazing, and it's actually one of my favorite songs from the show. It's fast-paced, it's energetic, it has amazing lyrical flow, and as usual, the harmony is spectacular. Unfortunately, since the song has such a rapid melody and intricate lyrics, it's very complicated to translate it in a way that's easy to sing and sounds good. And most of those dubs struggle with, if not both of those things, then one of those things. Today we're going to be looking at each dub's overall performance, how in-tempo the singers are with the song and with each other, how well the lyrics flow, and the use of harmony. So without further ado, here is my ranking of the different dubs of Kizuna. Number 9. While I don't think that the Hebrew dub is terrible, it's definitely on the lower end of mediocre. The singers aren't on tempo with each other for some of the song, some of the notes are missed, but the biggest problem in this dub is that there's just a lot of experimental harmony, and some of it sounds decent, but most of it doesn't sound good. Although I will say that the last line, they got the harmony perfect. It sounds really great, but that's it. The rest of it is really touch and go. The lyrics flow decently, and I wouldn't call this version weak, but all the other problems make it the lowest ranked version of this song. Number 8. So there aren't as many flat notes and missed harmony like in the Hebrew dub, but the biggest problem here is that the lyrics just don't flow very well, and it's not very pleasant to listen to because of that. I think this dub just needed some lyrical rewrites to make it easier for the singers to perform it, and if it had done that, I think it would have turned out much better. One positive thing I can say is that this performance is quite powerful, but that's not really enough on its own to rank it any higher. Number 7. This version is kind of weird. I kept moving it around in the ranking because 1 minute I'd listen to it and it would sound great, but then I would listen again later and it would suddenly sound worse, and that cycle kept on repeating. Ultimately, I don't think that this version is that bad. Once again, there's a few awkward moments and some missed notes, but the biggest problem with this dub is that the singers just aren't in tempo with each other for a lot of the song, which doesn't sound that great. That being said, I think that the song flows pretty decently, and I think that the vocals are sung very cleanly and very clearly, and overall, I think that this version is less uncomfortable to listen to than the previous two. Number 6. This is actually a pretty good performance from the Korean dub. There aren't too many missed notes, all three singers are mostly in tempo with each other. However, the harmony seems to be either absent or extremely weak, and it's really a shame because this could have been ranked a lot higher if they had attempted harmony. Unfortunately, they didn't even try, so that's why this version is ranked this low. Number 5. This performance is probably the most mid-level on this list. It's not particularly amazing, but it does get the job done pretty well, and there aren't any real bad moments or missed harmony. The biggest strength of this version is that it has really good lyrical flow, but the singers aren't all on tempo with each other as much as I prefer, and that can be a little bit distracting at times. Overall, I'd say that this is a pretty good version. Number 4. This is actually a pretty solid version of the song, and it would be ranked higher, but unfortunately Lucia's singing voice is the only one that's really a top-tier performance. Hannon's performance is especially weak, and Rena's isn't that impressive either. If this was just Lucia alone, this version probably would have gotten a 5 out of 5 in the performance category, because I truly think that her performance is quite lovely. Those 2 points I knocked off were strictly for Hannon and Rena. The only other thing that's holding this version back is that they didn't attempt harmony. It's a huge missed opportunity, and it makes this version just a little disappointing. Number 3. This is the first version of this song on this list that gives a very solid performance without any missed notes, any awkward moments, any missing harmony, or any other compromises. And it's no surprise coming from the Greek dub. I'm placing this comfortably in top tier, and I would say that it matches my number 2 pick in terms of quality. The only reason that this is number 3 and not number 2 is just because the lyrical flow is a tiny notch below my number 2 pick. But that's honestly not saying much. This is an amazing version. Number 2. The original version of this song is spectacular. As this song was written in Japanese, the lyrical flow and harmony are on point, and each singer gives a really great performance. This song is punchy and powerful, and honestly, I don't have any real critiques for this version, but there is a reason that it's ranked number 2 and not number 1, and you'll see why in just a minute when I reveal the number 1 dub. Overall, this is one of my favorite songs in the entire anime, and it's easy to see why. Number 1. Oh boy, this dub truly went above and beyond in adapting this song to Serbian. Not only are the performances, lyrical flow, and timing all perfect, the entire song is harmonized. For that extra effort, this dub deserves the number 1 spot in this ranking. Now, as I've done with the last few dubs, I'll be quiet and let you listen to this amazing version of Kizuna. So I am very well aware of how difficult this particular song is to adapt. I have been actively writing and rewriting the lyrics for my own English adaptation for a long time to try to get them to sound just right, and even when I'm satisfied with what I've written, it's still challenging to sing this song. Unfortunately, because of this, most dubs were middle of the road in terms of quality, and it wasn't really until the top 3 that I could truly call any dub top tier. Though luckily, none of the dubs were outright terrible. Hopefully, I'm able to produce an English adaptation that you guys will like. That'll be the next video coming out in a couple weeks. Next time on Dub Judge, we'll be looking at Hanon's song, Everblue. Until then, I'm Segastar, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.